This year's snare drum etude comes from Advanced Snare Drum Studies by Mitchell Peters, and it's etude number 4, found on page 8. I like to work on 4 things when I'm playing snare drum: sound, dynamics, rolls, and what I call embellishments, which are just flams and drags. As you would imagine, all 4 of these are really important in this particular etude. So let's start with number 1, sound. Be sure to have a well-tuned drum, okay? This is really important. This is a Majestic Prophonic. It measures 14 by 5. I like to have it tuned to about a B flat, which is just the B flat below middle C. If your drum is a bit deeper shell than that, then just tune it a little bit lower. That's so important to get the snare response just right, which is the next step, right? So make sure that you tune the snare tension in a way that allows for really crispy louds and crispy, clear softs. Super important part of your sound, of course, is using high quality matched concert snare drum sticks. I've chosen for this etude the Chris Lamb CL1L by Innovative Percussion. These are great sticks. I also recommend the Keenan Wiley IPKW and the Lalo Davila IPLD. You'll notice at the beginning of the etude it says maestoso. Now that's just a fancy word that basically means majestic, or to play it majestically. So to do this, you just need to explore using a sort of a heavier stroke. All right, if you put a little weight in the stroke, that helps give us that idea of maestoso. And the other thing you'll have to do is feel a sort of real heavy internalized beat. That will go a long way to achieving this idea of maestoso. Dynamics, obviously, the second thing I like to talk about, are critical in this etude. So I try to extreme dynamic range here. I'm trying to build that. So in doing that, I do 2 things. I control the stick height, so you'll see a higher height at louds, and a really low height at softs. So this is a good thing to build into your muscle memory. So practice simple exercises to reinforce these spots into your muscle memory, so you don't even have to look, you just know where they are. Along with playing areas, I control my height, right? So getting low for each dynamic level as I get closer to the rim. That's just a critical part. So it's going to look like a ski slope. You're going to start here and you're going to come down as you get softer and back up. At the tempo indicated, a 6-triplet roll bass will work very well throughout the etude. All right, so this just means rolling in the speed of 6 triplets. It's probably a good idea to replace the roll as you're working on this. So take the buzz strokes out and just play the rolls with the 6-triplet rhythm. That helps you get accustomed to finding exactly the right pulse under the roll, because you'll have to go from 6 to 5 to 4 to 3 and back and forth a bunch of times. Near the end of the etude, flams and drags are thrown into some really tight spaces. To execute these passages well, okay, you'll need to be efficient, all right, to keep a previous accent or louder note down as it prepares to play the grace note part of the next flam or drag. To help with this, you can review your accent tap exercise, okay? We all play this exercise. The point of the accent tap, right, is to control a loud note to prepare a soft note. The last measure is going to be the ultimate test of how well you can actually do this, all right? So if you're having trouble with that last measure, come back to that accent tap exercise. That's so important, all right? Work on that for a while until it improves. All right, let's talk about a few rhythmic things. The etude requires that you constantly move between duple and triple subdivisions, all right? So this is tricky to do, right? So with a metronome, marking quarters, practice going from 8ths to triplets and triplets to 16ths and 16ths and 5s and so on. Be sure to subdivide 8th note triplets under all quarter note roll triplet rhythms. All right, it's very important. So this is like measure 12, 16, 29. At this slow tempo, be careful you don't rush the space between notes and larger rests. Okay, so there's so much space in here, you've got to play the space. I say it all the time. Play this whole etude in a majestic fashion, and don't be afraid to perform it. In fact, practice performing. All right, I guarantee that will improve your overall playing.